This is the Automotive Repair Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, Carm Capriato at ASTA 2025.
Wow.
Big, beautiful convention center this year at the Raleigh Convention Center. And we're at the Marriott next door. Lots going on here. Thanks to Ryan Regan and all the work that all the people from ASTA, the Automotive Service and Tire Association out here in the Southeast. I am excited to have Matt and Tanner here, and we're going to talk about some really interesting things. But first, we have just a word, and please support our great sponsors. Hey, for over 30 years, NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the best, most comprehensive SMS in the industry. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Trax on the web at napatracs.com. Ready to optimize with today's class? Boy, listen to an episode we did with David Boyes. Great program. Roll out a training plan for your automotive shop. In just 5 minutes daily, boost knowledge, retention, and improve team performance. Start seeing results today. Join your peers at todaysclass.com. Shop owners, stop juggling multiple marketing tools. KUKUI's integrated platform, they deliver 4 times better website conversions, automated follow-up, and real-time ROI tracking. Get industry-leading customer support with KUKUI. That's KUKUI.com. You're probably tired of chasing new customers who never return. We understand. Pit Crew Loyalty ends the one-and-done cycle, turning first visits into lasting, reliable revenue. On the web at pitcrewloyalty.com. Hey guys, welcome. We have had so much off kind of camera personal dialogue about training or education in our industry. And before we even turned the mics on, there were some revelating points about, we were talking about the technology specialists, the mechanical specialists, of which a lot of people call technicians, retiring out, aging out. And then the thing that hit us was, so are the educators, so are the trainers. And I know, Tanner, you do some training, you have a mobile business. It's hit you especially hard because one of the things that we'd love to talk about on this show, and please hang around and listen to the concepts that are coming out here, is if we're struggling to find all of our new young people to service the vehicles that are in our shops, where are we going to find the young trainers that are going to come in and replace a lot of the retirement people? So we're having less choice.
Robots. So
Okay. AI, man?
next. Well, that's different, but yeah, they'll have AI involved. Yeah. All right. So that was a good episode.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tanner.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate that.
So the AI thing is interesting to think about because I do feel like there are some training companies, I'm sure in automotive using AI, but also we look at outside of the automotive training companies, what AI is doing and people putting PowerPoints together with AI. And I think in automotive, one of the things that's so different there is it's significantly harder and more time consuming to put together a class. Most classes take 3 months to 6 months to write. If it's a 4-hour class, a lot of those classes will take 3 months. If it's a 8-hour class, some people are spending 6 months on that. The time it takes for automotive versus other industries, case study documentation, looking back through service information after you've documented the case study and making sure that you actually do understand the system and are explaining it correctly. There's just so much that goes into it, which I think is part of the reason why we're starting to see an exodus in training. And I would say at these events in particular, for the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen less and less trainers or educators here. We've had some phenomenal trainers that have retired or slowed down, and I just see that going forward. I know Matt had already spoke about John a little bit, saying that he was going to retire. Matt, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, go down the list, because we were coming up with a list before we even turned the mics on, and it's a scary long list.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to aging out, the only thing you can say is the second law of thermodynamics is a son of a gun. That's entropy for all of you. And then the other thought I had, Tanner's talking about putting together an 8-hour class. I feel remiss if I don't mention that Scott Manna can put together an 8-hour class in an hour. So I think we have to acknowledge that. I've talked about it a few times. I don't know, and it's specific to John, but it's all the names we could drop. the amount of personal time they gave up to do what they did for us and the amount of credit their families deserve for allowing the gift of their time for us. I don't know if we could ever pay it back. And so in John's case, he's missed out on many events. Like he has a son who is extremely good baseball player, college level baseball player. He missed out on a lot of those games because he's developing content. He's traveling to present that content. And it was a passion of his. And I would never, ever speak for him that it wasn't worth it or it was worth it. The fact of the matter is he missed out on that to spend time with us. And that's so many trainers and educators. It's not just the time in front of the classroom because that's what we see. So that's what we equate value to. We don't see the time spent in the basement, in the bunker, putting together all the case studies, putting together all the information, reading all the resources, the money spent on SAE documents to come up with the foundation to build up this idea to present to these group of professionals. We don't get to see that. So how do you value that?
I'm not sure our industry appreciates that, understands that. When you said it takes 4 months to do a 4-hour class, my quickest thought was 4 hours too long on a single subject to be able to keep the attention of the student. And I know you're supposed to go around as the educator in front of the room and knock people that are sleeping or not taking notes and encourage engagement. But is 4 hours just too, I mean, are certain subjects worthy of that? Even 8 hours?
I would say a lot of subjects are worthy of 4 hours. I have always struggled with the 8-hour classes. Part of the problem also I feel with the 8-hour classes is it takes up a day at a training event, obviously. So it's less classes that you can take. And because of the way the industry is, especially if you're a shop doing all makes, all models, you're better off getting a wider variety of education in a short amount of time. So taking more classes, in my opinion, than less. So I like 4 hour. I also like 2 hour classes and hour-long classes, hour-long lunch and learn.
What would be a 2 hour class?
I have a network diagnostics class that's 2 hours. I have a part 1 and part 2. Each one is 1 hour.
Okay.
So stuff like that. I've done other things. I've taken the turbo class that's 4 hours and I've cut that into 2 sections so that you can do 2 hour classes with that.
There's data to support that though, right? There's how we learn. Smaller chunks is much better. And we could probably get Paul Pate in here to speak very specifically about the learning path, or George Menchu could talk about the learning path. And now we're going to supercharge that with today's entertainment, right? Cell phones. We've been training people to have short attention spans.
Oh, I think 10 seconds maybe.
Yeah. So now you're trying to hold them for 4 hours or 8 hours. If it's just sit there and it's got the sage on the stage, they're shut down minutes and coming in and out of consciousness the entire time.
They're taking up a space.
Yeah, that's not talking crap about them. Like that's.
But shouldn't we require as an owner or a member of a team that is coming here, lots of classes here over the next 3 days, and say, I've got to go back and teach this, or at least I've got to give an hour up of what I feel my biggest takeaways were. Isn't that adding value to your team, to your owner?
I guess the direction I was thinking was with so many things in our profession. I guess I don't want to go down too much of a tangent, even though that's what I do. We have a lot of stuff around here in this trade show with evidence-based. So we have DVIs, we have software that makes it easy to communicate with the client with photos, videos, whatnot, for evidence-based decision-making, testing, diagnostics, whatever you want to call, to open up the curtains to show clients why we recommend what we are recommending. Well, why not take that same philosophy into education? You know, we're doing years of tradition unimpeded by progress. We're doing the same thing over and over because that's what we always did, but we know it doesn't work and it's going to get worse because of the way we are entertained nowadays, further shortening our attention spans. So we need to evolve. And where Tanner's talking is instead of doing 1 4-hour class, do 2 1.5 2-hour classes. And you'll probably get better engagement. People will leave with more information, better retention.
And I always say, I'm going to use your motto, learn just one thing. Any class that I'm in, that's the goal. Take something away from it. Well, if you're in an 8-hour class and you only take one thing away from it, you've wasted 8 hours. if you do multiple 1-hour classes or multiple 2-hour classes and you take one thing from each of those, now you have a lot more things that you've learned. I think that the shorter classes offer more as far as things that you can use in your bay the following day. I think there is more return on investment. It's a shorter time commitment, especially if you're doing lunch and learns or things like that. At an event like this, it's also just an opportunity to get more classes in a short amount of time. And I think because of the instructor exodus that we're seeing, the shorter time commitments also make it easier to get more instructors. And we know that so many instructors are leaving. Matt just brought up George Menchu, and George is still around, George and Carlos that own AES Wave. But a few years back, George let all of us know that he was pretty much going to stop presenting and spend more time with his family. So he has stopped. We have George, JT, John Thornton, Scott Manna, Jim Morton just announced that he's going to be retiring after this year. We're just seeing more and more. And then we're also seeing people that are moving from a trainer educator role into something else. We're trying to get our good friend Justin Morgan to jump in on this one earlier, and Justin is now working for Pico, and a lot of the BMW guys know that Justin did a ton of training prior. But Justin moving to a job at Pico, now he's doing a lot less training. So he's obviously still doing some stuff, but we're just seeing a lot less of full-time instructors, I guess I would say. We still have NAPA who is doing training, and we still have CarQuest, and we still have WorldPack. But there's other companies. Garage Gurus has winded down from what I was just recently told. We saw that ATG just recently got sold. That was put on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Hopefully that will continue with their training, but now there's another company involved in it. So we don't know, what the outlook is. So having hour-long sessions is going to make it easier to get trainers in the door to do curriculum development if it's less of a time commitment for them.
Matt, where are we going to get our young trainers?
Overseas. I don't know.
It's a Matt answer. And now he'll explain what he really
They're going to come.
How do we give them a chance?
Yeah. The problem is giving them a chance. And then, you know what? It's rough to get compared to the list that we just rattled off. That's a rough list.
There's some legacy people that,
right?
for sure that have really shaped.
Yeah.
The amount of effort. And then you have John and Scott live in proximity of each other. So they, by happenstance, they meet each other and they become friends, and now they're better for it. Not just personally, but professionally, the whole bit. So where we find the people that are going to be intrigued with an idea or a thought and want to present it, and then throw themselves into the education of themselves about educating.
Yeah.
And that's rough. So now we as a profession have to find a means, or some of these companies open up floodgates for people that are interested to go in and learn how to put together a presentation, learn about flow, learn about learning techniques, learn about assembling a case study and learning from reference material or sourcing reference material, all the things that they got their own class where maybe they fly in and
there's an art and a science to presenting.
Absolutely.
And even though so if you're listening and you've always wanted to be a trainer, great. I want to be a golfer. Got to go play 800 rounds. Got to hire a coach for driving and putting and short. And I think, in my opinion, do we have any kind of training curriculum to teach trainers how to train? I mean, do you know of anybody?
Only if you're working for that entity. So if you're going to work
but
for
if you want to be an independent like John and Scott
not that
and
I'm
Eric, they had a gift of wanting to do this, but the ability to convey the knowledge.
Yep. We can't ignore the fact that I host Tech Talks at Vision and Informing Technicians here at ASTA. That is a means for someone in the bays, presumably, right? It's usually technicians deciding like, hey, I think I have a neat case study. I have a neat idea. I think this is how something may work, or this is how I go about a problem that I see people struggling with. And I'm too scared. And then again, that's not derogatory. I'm not comfortable coming up with 3-hour presentation or carrying an entire class and having that pressure. And I don't even know if I really want to do this. So here's a means to come up with a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour presentation. I am not responsible for carrying this whole class. And now I get to get out in front of people do my presentation and then find out like, I really like that. And then learn from it, right? There's people there to give feedback. And then also you have the training entities there watching going like, hey, that Tanner Brandt, he's a freaking spark plug. I'm going to go talk to him. Hey, Tanner, have you ever thought about maybe a part-time job training? We'll send you here, there, everywhere.
I feel like every company that did that with me eventually regretted it, but
I don't mind.
Hey, let's face it. Your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. Now, it all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having local representation is a huge plus. Customizing Trax to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, a representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. Trax always has the flexibility to do business how you need to do it, which means it can also grow as your business grows. And unlike the other guys, we'll be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business. Yes, a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, Trax was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at NAPA Trax, that's NAPATRACS.com. Strengthen your shop's entire team with today's class. Everyone from technicians to service advisors can access impactful training on their phones in just 5 minutes a day. Opt for solo sessions or ignite friendly competition, challenging team members to climb the leaderboard for the highest score. Our effective daily training ensures measurable progress, helping you develop your team. Train smarter, not harder, with today's class and transform your shop and your people. Start seeing results today at todaysclass.com. Shop owners, we know you are overwhelmed with a flood of missed calls, empty bays, and disconnected marketing tools. KUKUI has spent over a decade building one integrated platform for auto repair shops, one login, one dashboard, and mobile-first websites that convert 4 times industry average. Smart, innovative CRM with automated follow-up, 24/7 online booking, and real-time ROI tracking. With 900 plus years of combined team experience, we fuel the growth of 2,200 plus shops and have influenced $3 billion in revenue. Stop working harder. Start working smarter. Get industry-leading customer support and book a demo with KUKUI. That's KUKUI.com. Most shop owners feel trapped spending on ads while half their first-time customers never come back. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. And it's not your fault. The industry average is 54% one and dones. We understand how discouraging that can be. Well, Pit Crew Loyalty changes the story. Our clients cut that rate by up to 38%, raising lifetime value by more than 50%. Loyalty members visit nearly 3 times more often, creating predictable revenue without extra ad spend. Pit Crew Loyalty, where customers stay and shops thrive. On the web at pitcrewloyalty.com.
Ability to learn to be a trainer goes along with the exodus again. So CTI used to have boot camp. The people that used to teach boot camp are no longer with CTI. They were laid off. Both of the people that used to run it. So that is no longer a thing. So it's interesting to think also every single WTI, CTI instructor that is currently there, that's been there for the last at least like couple years and prior, would have gone through boot camp. So anybody going forward has not gone through boot camp.
Okay, so they have boot camp, but for so many of the other young people that want to come up that can't connect themselves with a much larger company and get a mentor, where's the industry's boot camp, man? And in just because you're doing Tech Talks, and I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's not
Take someone, bring them up, give them an hour, and let them get a feel and like, hey, that was great. But the commitment to the months of writing a 4-hour class, everything that you're doing, you're almost driving down all the work that you're doing in tandem. How does it help me bring content to the industry? So all the work that you're doing that you're trying to get done in an hour or 2 hours is going to be maybe 4 to 5 hours to pull it back and do something with it. It's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's a 20-hour class that Tanner's presenting next year at Vision. So you're all welcome. It's open season.
And why not? seriously, why not what about John and Scott, Eric and Jim? Again, my point was throw some names up. Why don't we get them to create a boot camp for trainers?
Yeah.
Because they're going like, that sounds like work. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, John had shared with several of us. We asked him about what he did to prepare, and he had told us that he used to videotape himself and watch his presentations in his basement. I think was where he told us he did it. That was how he had learned. So some of us adopted that from John. There was things, obviously, I learned what I was saying from boot camp at CTI, but again, that's no longer a thing. So anybody going forward, the only real, I guess, training that they could get to become a trainer is via online courses, or I'm sure there's companies out there that do it, but not in automotive.
Let's just assume that the case study that they're passionate about is just dynamic. It's good. The world should hear about it, but they suck as a presenter. Now,
that happens.
I know it does. I hear
Example
about
A.
it. Yeah. And if there was this training boot camp, again, let's go back to, oh my God, Brandon and Bob that were on your show that we recorded here.
He's chatting with them during the recording.
The certifications of everyone, the ASE and the doctoring thing and having licensing. Where is an association executive looking at a group of trainers, even someone new coming in, saying, wow, they're certified with the guru, the Manna Thornton certification bootcamp training? Well, that could help ourselves get that energy of the young people going and starting from scratch. Am I crazy to be thinking this weird?
No, but one of the things we had talked about before the podcast too was the pay and understanding, what a trainer has to get paid. Well, now we're looking at asking people to teach other trainers. So who's going to sponsor that? There's no sensor replacement, part replacement tools being used. So who's going to sponsor the class? There isn't a return on investment for most companies in that case. So if we're going to do a boot camp at a training event like this, it's going to be up to the company that's putting it on to pay for it. What are they willing to pay? And is it enough to get somebody when we know that all of a sudden pay is a problem?
It's like the American Automotive Training Expo Providers Co-op Group.
Yeah.
Incorporated, right? That they create that.
Hang on a minute. What was that acronym?
I have to remake it up. It might not be the same.
Training, your AETG.
I just started to start stringing things together.
ETIG.
I mean, okay. I had one thought earlier. This is probably a horrible spot to drop that, but just to tie a bow on the time thing with the class hours. How many comedians have you went to go see that go have a set that's 3 hours?
None. They're an hour 5, hour 10.
Right. So think about the energy required from a presenter to go 3, 4, maybe even 8 hours to keep class engagement somewhat reasonable. It's unreasonable to expect. And then with this thing here with who's going to make this happen, I'm going to bring up a wrestling reference, right? Professional wrestling, you have the WWE has NXT, and that was the entire purpose of that was, where is the next superstar coming from? Where is the next The Rock? Where is the next Stone Cold Steve Austin coming from? We can't wait for the indies to create them. We can't. So guess what? We're going to create a training center, a performance center that we're going to teach them how to work out, how to take care of their bodies. Oh, and by the way, how to perform, how to cut a promo, all the things.
Right.
Well, okay, fine. That's all under the umbrella of the WWE. How do we do that with so many independent circuit things where you have ASTA, you have Vision, you have Apex, whatever the vendors are or providers are or the locations are, how can they come together even on that one thing? How do we create a means of creating or creating the best environment to produce the next John Thornton, Scott Manna, whoever else you want to throw in that conversation?
It's a great concept.
I think I have an idea. As I'm thinking through this of who pays for it and how does it get paid for.
Tanner Brandt is sponsoring. That was so nice, man.
Wow. I had no idea you had that kind of money.
Dude, you have no idea. He lives on a mountain, but the mountain
and he
is
owns
of
the
cash.
Oh.
It's like Scrooge
Oh.
McDuck.
I thought he owned them.
Only instead of a silo, it's a mountain.
I wish I had that kind of money. If I had that kind of money, I probably would. There are people in this industry that do have that kind of money, but one of the
And they're not here.
Some of them might be, but one of the things that I just thought about, I don't know why, but some of the scholarships that we've had throughout the years, there's money in the scholarship funds, and some of the scholarships we have struggled to get people to sign up. We know that every year.
Yeah,
like
it's
we
terrible.
Some of the scholarships have even gone away because we haven't had people apply for them. So it makes me think to take some of the scholarship funds and say, hey, we're going to do a class each year with one of these funds or multiple funds and pay John and Scott and George, whoever wants to be involved, to do training. I mean, that's a better use of those funds at this point, especially the ones that have gone away because nobody applied for them. So that's a thought of where money could come from to do it.
A trainer's scholarship with the money that goes to the legacy trainers to bring them in.
Yeah.
You want to be trained by this core group of legacy trainers to be a great trainer, then pay your way here, but we're going to pay to train.
I just thought of the name. I did.
Okay.
Don't look at me like that. No, the name of this.
Quick.
Jetsam.
Jetsam?
Jetsam. JTSM. Jetsam.
What's it stand for?
John Thornton Scott Manna.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. You guys are all, what's Matt going to say? Oh, this is going to be dumb.
JTSM.
Boom.
Done.
All right. John, Scott, I know you just were told to listen to this. We just recruited you.
You're now hired at your...
They're recruiting. I'm begging.
You know what? We're going to put you in charge of that. We're going to put you in charge of the begging part.
Oh, okay. I got that. I can grovel like nobody.
I know you can.
Yes.
And I would say, too, I mean, there's two scholarships in particular that I can think of. One that you were heavily involved with and one that I was heavily involved with. And I would say that both of those people whose the scholarships, the people who had passed that the scholarships are for, would approve of that use, I would say.
I would agree.
So
I think it's a brilliant move. We want to train our young people, that we want them to apply, but where are the young people that are going to go through your courses on, Tech Talks?
Yeah.
That you may even go to an individual who you don't even know who's going to do an hour at Vision here, wherever else you're going to do Tech Talks, and tell them, listen, you got to apply for this because the best of the best is willing to train.
Yeah.
Not that I see a lot of logistics in the way of making this happen, but we've got to start this dialogue. Let this episode be the dialogue starter on how to train our trainers.
And unfortunately, I might be able to answer that question better in another year or two, because with Tech Talks and now with Techs Informing Techs here at ASTA 2025 in Raleigh, North Carolina, Cheapop, that I'm having people approach me that I don't know. I don't know them. That didn't happen before. I would have to recruit. I'd have to call friends and ask. Now I'm getting people approaching me saying, I would really like to do this next year.
Wow.
And so in a year or two more, maybe we get to see how the new breed's coming up. The young tech sitting there going, I have this one car. I had this one car. I think I could do that case study. I think that would be pretty neat to go up there.
Well, then take this as a case study idea. Forget about making this a full-fledged portion of a scholarship and pick some people that we believe, someone in the industry is, wow, that was great. They've got the passion. I've spoken to them. They'd love to do this. Let's do a beta test.
Yeah.
Before you make the big splash with it, find a couple of potential passionate educators. Let's teach them how to educate, and ask John and Scott and Eric and whoever else we could get. Maybe they could each watch John's videos, watch Scott's videos, watch Eric's, your commitment to observe and watch and find your own style, but gain the confidence in presenting and realize that you're so in charge of that student being engaged and the transference of this education.
one of the last thing I want to quick point out is if we can get more people involved in the Tech Talks thing, we also need to make it a point to get training companies to attend to watch them, because we have had some very, very good Tech Talks presenters through the years. Like nothing ever happened after that. They did a presentation. It was phenomenal. Nobody picked them up as a trainer. I'm going to throw out a couple names. Mark Warren was always really good at watching and seeing who was doing what and what trainers were coming up. Jeff Masterman, who is also no longer training and is retired, he was with Standard Motor Products. Jeff was really good about watching and seeing who was doing what in the industry. There's been companies in the past. Chris Chesney was also really good about that as well. Yeah. Chris was phenomenal at that. He was kind of the first one to grab Bryn and our whole group. But there was a lot of presenters at Tech Talks that no other companies paid attention to that should be teaching.
But you're so right about that. Think about it. Those are great names. I think of Ryan Koyman too. I mean, all of these guys that are directors or VPs of training in these big companies that, to your point, were on the outlook for our young people. Maybe this whole resurgence needs to maybe we need to get them all on a call and say, where are we going to replace all of these people? We're recruiting our butts off to get young people into our industry. And we've got these great venues around the country to teach and train them. And are we going to have enough trainers?
Right. I think there's at least a dozen that have retired or announced they were going to retire this year and will retire in the coming months or coming next year.
The word trainer, I don't like. People know that I have this major passion in ministry for this language shift in the industry. And I want to call our people educators. And what we do with them is to be educated, continuing education, which is what this conference is all about. It's an education conference, not a training conference, it's an education conference. What about an audition? Just think about this for a moment. Vision, ASTA, Tools, as an association group, this education consortium, the JTSM group, goes in front of them and says, we need one audition slot for every conference. We're developing some people that are going to come inside the industry. Can you give us one? Unproven, but trust us, this individual is on their way, but we need to have a live thing. And then we're going to be there and we're going to watch and, we're going to videotape it. Even if it's done locally, maybe it doesn't have to be done nationally, but I'm just throwing concepts and floating ideas of how this thing would work. I think it's the right thing to do.
That was an idea for Tech Talks, was to try to recruit some veteran presenters or educators to sit in a row, or didn't matter where they sat, but to kind of grade the presenter.
Okay.
Not so much like you got an F, like what they would give me.
But why?
Kind of like my scratch off is I'm not a winner. But it would be constructive criticism. Yeah. Like you dropped about 45 ums, or maybe not so critical, but you have a habit of ums. You fidget with your hands. You don't ever look out at the attendees. You're always fixated on the screen.
You're reading the slide.
Clearly you're nervous. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody starts out that way, but these are the mannerisms to keep an eye on and work on. And maybe after class, pull them aside and say, hey, I got a technique, take this rubber band, put it on your wrist. Every time you say it, give yourself a little bit of a snap.
Yeah.
And just try to get away from the ums and the ahs, or join the Toastmasters.
Yeah, honest to God, we've got Toastmasters, Remarkable Results Toastmasters. It's a great group. It's been going on. I think we're starting our third year. It has really impacted so many people that are on it. And of course, I'm on it. Tracy's on it. Tracy was our president last year. And when you stop to think about, here I talk for a living, actually the last 10 years, and I learned so much in Toastmasters that I was shocked. And every time there's friends that are Toastmasters in a room when I give a speech, they just put me in a straitjacket and says, oh, we're going to count your ums and ahs. We're going to count your presentation skills. We're going to count your body movement. We're going to look at your eye contact. To your point, getting into a local Toastmasters or even our virtual one that meets twice a month be so important.
Yeah, I would agree completely.
I mean, as part of the presentation and keeping people engaged, that certain mannerisms lend themselves well. It might be looking at people, making eye contact, all about the room, not doing the certain fidgety things that I don't know if it's even like a distraction. It's just kind of that the whole presentation itself of you as a presenter, as you as an educator. And then, yeah, some people can keep people engaged because they're just naturally hilarious. Bryn Klein, I could probably watch him do 16 hours straight because I just find he's got a direct line to my funny bone. And it's not trying to be funny. He's not putting on a comedy show.
His presentation technique, it's not levity. It's almost calming to the point where you feel good when you're around Brent.
Yeah. And Bruce Amaker, if you kind of check out, you're worried that he's going to do something to you. And so fear keeps you engaged.
Fear is not a bad thing, especially anyone. Let's talk about getting up on stage and making a presentation. Don't tell me that you're overconfident every time, Dan.
No, of course not. Making sure that you know your material helps your confidence. However, anybody who teaches in front of 10 people over and over and over may become confident doing 10 people. All of a sudden, when there's 1,500 people in the room, that changes things, or even online.
Yeah.
I had less issues teaching webinars online and being nervous until COVID happened. And one of the webinars I taught was, I think, somewhere around 1,500 people or 1,600 people. And at that point, you're going, if I screw up, there's a lot of people that are going to hear me screw up on the other end. And also during COVID, it was people from all over the globe. So you knew that you were going to screw up on a global platform at that point. So learning to work through those things, learning how to prepare yourself so that you do have confidence, but also never being overconfident and knowing that there's techniques that can help you. I had read a book that was from the people that started TEDx, and they talk about if you're nervous, telling the audience that you're nervous, and the audience will help to lift you up and support you so that you feel better about it. One of the things I've always told other instructors is hang out at the back of the room when people are coming in, introduce yourself, talk to everybody. That way everyone feels like a friend as they come in, and you feel less nervous, less like you're talking to a stranger. You've met some of the people in your front row, and that helps you as well.
Yeah, most of Thornton's classes, he's walking around shaking hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming to my class.
Yeah, he's done that since I can remember.
Yeah, I don't know if that's why he does it. That's why I do it. It helps me to meet people, get a couple names, and interact with them and feel like.
Hey, look, this was a episode. I had no idea where it was going to go, but I think it went to some really great places. Lots of concepts thrown in here. And if you're on the sidelines, feel passionate about training, listen to this thing again. Reach out to Matt or Tanner, me. If you want to be in Toastmasters, remarkableresults.biz/Toastmasters will get you to the Toastmasters site. You can come anytime. You don't even have to join. Just come in and hang out and see what it's about. I think we may have stumbled upon something here that brings light to the educator shortage. That if we're short 100, 200,000 young people, or call plain old specialists in the bays in the next 2 or 3 years, who's going to teach them?
Google
AI
or YouTube,
Gemini
or something. Yeah. And maybe not necessarily all in the right way.
No, not.
YouTube honestly could be a good platform to put together some instructor training on there so people could watch it. That's not a bad
But there's all kinds of that out there. But I think specifically the person in the room is a unique person that we're teaching to. Okay. They're coming from all walks of life with all different kinds of experience and education, pay plans, years in. It's not like I'm going to go to training to teach how to speak at a convention. It's not about learning communication skills as much as it is about knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
In our business, because it's all high tech.
Yeah. And we have to have individualized training programs or different means of teaching different people. I'm pretty lucky. If I read it or see it, I can do it. That's not many people.
No, not at all.
Quite honestly. And that's not putting myself over. That's just a reality. Most of us, hands-on, doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're not doing that virtually. Or I guess you can. It's a lot of hurdles and then a lot of hurdles. Hardly worth mentioning.
You were born with a magic brain.
Yeah, that's what my mom said.
She said
Not
it.
exactly
When she
those words.
when she asked you to shovel the driveway.
Our mile-long driveway, I had to shovel that.
Tanner, a final word.
I hope that this dialogue has given some of you some ideas to potentially help us move forward with it. And maybe some of the companies putting on the conferences will consider what I brought up about scholarships and consider helping move this idea forward.
A Train the Trainer scholarship. Wow. Matt, anything else?
I mean, seriously though, I think we covered a lot of really interesting ideas that we should follow up with. That's
Thank you.
for people to follow up, and we gotta
Jetsam.
change.
Jetsam,
Yeah,
you're in
Jetsam.
charge.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, all the guys that we mentioned,
Yeah.
John, Scott, George, Jeff Masterman, all of those guys are now going to have to
Step up.
Yep.
I mean,
All right.
please help.
Look, everyone, thank you for listening. All kinds of great podcasts on the Automotive Repair Podcast Network. Thanks.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive repair business podcast, Remarkable Results Radio. Get your episodic education on the ARPN listening app at automotiverepairpodcastnetwork.com. Also enjoy the podcast on our Carm Capriato YouTube channel. Carm is all for advancing the professional automotive service industry. Until next time.